Bonjour class, comment ça va? Hi guys, here we are at lesson 6.6, review for solving polynomial equations tests. So we're getting ready for this, so here's a review kind of update. Please note that for your test you will be provided a formula sheet, so I'll give you all the formulas. You don't need to measure or memorize any of the, for example, volume of a cylinder or anything. I'll provide that for you. Let's go over the topics, ladies and gentlemen, from the unit. First of all, we took a look at simplifying polynomial expressions. So you're either expanding using FOIL, that's when you've got two binomials, that's the first outside, inside, last, or distributive law, which tells you whatever's out front of a bracket gets multiplied by every term inside the brackets. And don't forget to collect like terms. So here's an example, ladies and gentlemen. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do my FOIL here. So I'm going to leave the 2x term out front. So remember, using your arrows, you should have first, which is x squared, outside, which is plus 6x, inside, which is minus 5x, and last, which is minus 30. Okay. Remember, BEDMAS tells us before we do any multiplication, we got to simplify our bracket where we can collect like terms right here. So we're going to go x squared plus x minus 30. And then lastly, we're going to do our distributive law, which is going to give us 2x cubed plus 2x squared minus 60x. And there you go. There's the simplification. Let's take a look at number 2, solving polynomial equations. So remember, an equation is where the left side equals the right side. Okay. Well, method A of solving is by factoring. So you set each factor equal to 0. So it says here, here's an example of an area of a deck. Here's the dimension. Here's the area given, and you need to find the dimensions. Finding the dimensions means you need to, if you know area equals length times width. I apologize. Let's assume it's a rectangular deck. I forgot to mention that. And so we need to know that if we've got the product, we need to find the factors. So we're going to factor it. So we're going to set the area, pretend the area is equal to 0. Okay, we're going to factor this out. Okay, looking at this, ladies and gentlemen, this is simple trinomial factoring, so you probably remember that the product equals 40 and the sum equals negative 14. If the sum is negative, you know at least one needs to be negative, but since the product's positive, that tells us both our factors are negative, so it's going to be negative 1 times 40, negative 2 times 20. I'm just going all over them, and they're both negative. Negative 4 times negative 10, and negative 5 times negative 8. Remember that when we're trinomial factoring, which one, they all fit the product case, but which one does the summation? Okay, and the only one that fits is this one. So you've got 0 equals x minus 4 times x minus 10. And remember, in order to use the zero product property, i.e. the left side equals 0, so how do we get the right side to equal 0? You let each bracket equal 0. So x is going to either equal 4 in this case, or x minus 10 equals 0, which means x equals 10. Okay? The other one is to use the graphing calculator, and I will let you use the graphing calculator for the test. So we're going to take a look at that. So I'm going to hop over to my graphing calculator. I'm going to have cleared everything up, and I'm going to go, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm going to type in my equation. So I'm just going to click it up one, and then I'm going to type in my equation, which is x squared plus 3x and minus 40. Oh, I apologize. I've got the wrong equation. Let's back that up. So I think I wrote down minus 14x. Just looking at the wrong question. Sorry, guys. And it should be plus 40. Okay, so I've graphed that. So let's press graph and make sure we can see our zeros. Okay, I'm going to move my window a little bit more just so I can see it. So I'm going to go window, and I'm going to increase my x a little more. So I will go down and make my x 20 and hit enter and graph. Okay, so there we go. And remember, in order to find these zeros, we go second trace. Okay, go down to 5, which is sorry, my fault. Go back. I got to do that again. Second, calculate. I want to do the zeros, which are 2. Okay, I need to be on the left bound, so I got to bring it up here. Hit enter, do the right bound, so I got to bring it down here. It'll say guess. And there's our first 0. Okay, so our first 0 is at x equals 4. Let me just hop back, grab my camera, guys, and then I can hop back over and capture that. Bring it in. Okay, there's my first picture. Bring it in. I'm going to make it smaller so it fits in my note. Okay, let's do the second one. So we go over again. We go second trace, 0, which is 2. We're going to get the other intercept this time, so I'm going to go all the way past the vertex. So I'm there on the left. Hit enter. Go over to the right. Enter, guess. Okay, and there's my second one. Let me capture that one. Okay. So what I would ask, ladies and gentlemen, if you're using the graphing calculator to get your answers, you need to tell me that you used, second trace to get your calculate menu. And then you would tell me that you pressed number 2 or 0. Okay? Those are the buttons we're looking at. All right, because you need to tell me what method you used to get the answers, right? Because you can't on your test just screen capture it like I can. All right, let's take a look at number 3, solving equations with the nth root. All right, the nth root means we need to find, got to find a patterning in here. Okay, method 1, ladies and gentlemen, is by applying equal root to both the left side and the right side. So for example, I'm just going to rewrite this. Trying to get x by itself. Currently it's x to the power of 5, so we're going to do the opposite. Instead of the power of 5, we've got to take the root, so it's the 5th root. And I'm just going to change the color on that so people can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to take the 5th root, and whatever you do to one side, you do to the other. Hopefully in your calculator you've been able to practice out how to do that. And when you press the 5th root of -32, you're going to get -2. Okay? Remember, ladies and gentlemen, when you have odd roots, you're only going to have one answer. Second example, ladies and gentlemen, notice I've got an even root here. Okay, so it's going to be a little different. First thing I'm going to do is rewrite my question so I can show you what I'm going to do. Okay, we want to get this x term isolated, but currently the exponent's affecting it, so we're going to do the opposite of squaring, which is square rooting. Whatever you do to one side, you do the same to the other. So x minus 3 equals, don't forget, plus or minus 11, square root of 121. Okay, then to solve this, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be x equals plus or minus 11 plus 3. Just going to bring it over here and bring it into its two cases. So either x is going to equal 11 plus 3, which equals 14, or our other option is x equals -11 plus 3, which equals -8. My fault. Okay, I'm going to rewrite that. Make it look better. Okay, so there's your solution that way. Okay. Now, using technology, I'll just do the first one for example. You could do the same thing with the second one. If you want me to help you, I could do both of them. But just to save time on your practice test here, so you can have time in class. Hopefully you're pretty good with the graphing calculator by now. I'm going to go to y equals. I'm going to clear all that. Okay, I'm going to enter in my left side of the equation. So I'm going to just put x at 5. Okay, and my second equation is going to be the solution, which was at -32. Now I need to change my window, I know that for sure. So let me take a look at my y. I'm going to go down to my y and make that maybe -40. See if that works. Let me use the buttons here, otherwise they're going to give me an error. Okay, let's try graphing that and see if that comes out. Oh, window range. Let's go back to window. My fault. Sorry, guys. Go back to window. I put it under my max instead of my min. My fault. So let me fix this up. Sorry, guys. So my minimum is going to be negative 40. That's the one I meant to do. And then we're going to make this, doesn't matter, it can be 10. Okay, so let's graph that up. Again, my apologies for that, guys. Okay. So notice we have two lines now, and we're going to do what's called the intersect. Okay, so I'm going to go second trace, which is the calculate menu. Going to do 5. First curve, hit enter, guess, second curve, guess, and you have your intersection there. So I'm just going to capture that. Bring it over. Snap. Okay, and since it didn't take too long, guys, let's just do the second technology here as well. We'll do the second part as well. So I'll go over back to my equations. I'm going to change them. So the second one is going to be, clear that out. So it's going to be, for part B, I have opening bracket x minus 3 closing bracket squared. And my second equation I'm going to change to 121. Okay, and I go to graph this, and I'm going to have to change my window, ladies and gentlemen. So this time my window, I need to worry about my y max. Actually, my y minimums. Okay, let's go down and change my y max. So let's make that, I don't know, 150. I know I need the line, guys, of 121 if you're wondering how I know how to graph that. Let's see if this works. That looks good there, guys. Okay, so notice here we've got two intersection points that we're going to be dealing with. Okay, so here we go. Let's do our calculate. So second trace, intersect, 5. Okay, I'm going to get the first curve. I'm going to move it over here on the other side of the vertex. Okay, guys, so we should move it closer to it so it knows which one we're looking at. Okay. And then I'm going to hit enter. It's going to go the other one. And it says guess. Okay, so there's my first intersect. Okay, so I'm going to capture that. Bring it down. Okay, and I go do the other one. So second trace, intersect. This time I want to get my cursor on the other side of the vertex, so over on the far side, so close to where the second intersection is. Give it a hand. Yep. Anywhere over there. Oopsie. Too far. Too far. Doesn't really matter. I guess I was holding on to it too long. Let's just bring it back. Sorry. Are we back there now? I think we're coming back here. We'll see it soon. Sorry. Doesn't matter where you are, just close by. Hit enter, enter, guess. There you go. Sorry about that delay there. My finger got stuck. I think it lagged for a little bit. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, if you were going to explain this to me using this on your test, you would say, hey, I put down for the second one, you would say, hey, I put in the equation y1 equals x minus 3 squared. I put in y2 equals 121, and then I used second trace, which is calc, and then we used 5, which is the intersect point. Okay, so that's what I'm looking for detailed information. Last thing we took a look at, ladies and gentlemen, was functions and formulas. Again, you can either use substitution. So, we've got an equation of the height of the rocket, and what's the height of the rocket at 5 seconds. You sub in where we see it, the value or the variable, you sub in 5 for it. You may need to rearrange your formula to solve. Okay. And multi-stage problems, which we did last day, require an intro statement. So your intro statement has to either show the addition of things, of all the parts, or subtraction thing. So here's an example: surface area of a rectangle. Surface area total equals 2 times this plus this. So remember, you got the total, or and yeah, total is usually what we're looking for here. Please note that I will allow you to use graphing calculator in this unit test, but you must tell me the buttons you used. So please don't just give me the answer, you know, for example, x equals -2 up here. Okay, make sure you explain what you did in order to get it. All right, and you can use it also if you want to show your mathematics, right? And if you got extra time, by all means, check using your technology. Okay? All right, so class, here's what we have coming up the next couple days. Review day 1, I want you to just review questions from the textbook. Review day 2 is the practice test that is attached. Here it is. Okay, so print that off, or maybe I'll provide it for you in class. Okay, and that is it, ladies and gentlemen. Have a great day. Come see me for extra help, and namaste.